Hello, my name is Jacob Perry. I'm a graduate student in SUNY Albany's Information Science Master's Program. Thanks so much for joining my presentation. The focus of my research project for this course is on accessibility to New York State parks and how specific economic conditions influence the attendance data for different regions and counties throughout the state. The specific research question I'm posing for this project is how do local economic conditions influence the attendance of state parks throughout New York State regions and counties? As an effort to provide a little more context and information regarding definitions and qualifications about this research, I'll now explain what I mean specifically by state parks, economic conditions, and attendance data. State parks in New York can be defined many different ways that include any recreational facility that is funded by the taxpayers of New York State. These include historical properties, recreational trails, boat launches, playgrounds, and golf courses, and many other forms of state park. Lots of details about these state parks throughout the state and throughout the many regions of New York State can be found online at parks.newyork.gov. These are all these locations are marked on that website throughout the state of New York. Economic conditions can mean a number of different things as well, especially when trying to apply metrics to a demographic of citizenry. And I chose specifically for this project to focus on the unemployment rate. The attendance data, which is pretty straightforward, was collected and compiled via the record-keeping practices to measure attendance of New York State parks via the Office of Parks, Recreation, and Historic Preservation. This topic is an important topic for me for a few reasons that include accessibility to public data, which is a useful resource for this type of project. The socioeconomic discoveries that could be discovered through this type of research, the potential for state government initiatives to develop should this research topic be explored and taken far enough, and my personal passion for the incredible state parks of the state of New York. Our beautiful state offers state parks as one of our most valuable public assets, and evaluating the accessibility of them for each and every New Yorker, regardless of socioeconomic condition, seems to me as a worthwhile endeavor. Utilizing publicly available data accessed through state government websites such as the Office of New York State Comptroller, data.newyork.gov, and other resources extracted from the OPRHP, I approached this research question through a quantitative correlational research design approach. The participants, or the two data sets, which were unemployment rate and park attendance, were collected and then merged in correspondence with the designated labor market regions and the regions specified by the OPRHP office. The method, this method was selected as the most appropriate method for this research because the research question calls for an examination specifically of relationship between the factors, as opposed to the discovery or necessity of discovery of causation between the socioeconomic factor and the attendance data. The data would then be further analyzed through exploratory measures by including visualizations, as you see here. This is the first visualization up here. Up top is the unemployment rate by labor market region throughout the state of New York. And included in that is a percentage legend key indicating the regions with the highest unemployment rate as emboldened. As you can see here, the Hudson Valley, New York City, and Southern Tier had the highest rates of unemployment of those labor market regions. This was accompanied by the pie chart visualization below. These are the attendance records for New York State parks by county, and this was designated by the OPRHP and their respective state park attendance records. Furthermore, an inferential statistical analysis was conducted in the form of a multiple linear regression model. The outcome of that analysis indicated a statistically non-significant variation as being found. And as discovered by this analysis, state park attendance records tend to vary annually, whereas unemployment rates by region do not vary in a similar way or in congruence with attendance records of state parks. The trends explored were from 2022 to 2024, indicating an overall increase in park attendance in that time frame, regardless of the region, by the way. Specific fixed regional characteristics, such as proximity to state parks of regions with higher population density, tend to produce a stronger influence on state park attendance records. Regions with higher population density also do produce higher rates of unemployment, but culturally draw more interstate and international tourism, which can increase state park attendance for that specific region. Tourism is an alternative factor that could skew the overall analysis because the data resources that were available to me during the study, they did not differentiate between non-New York and New Yorker resident visitors of the attendance data. This data confirms that exploring unemployment rate by region alone cannot indicate a strong influence of the specific socioeconomic factor that contribute to the state park attendance data. However, the regional disparities of state park attendance and usage across the many regions of New York State could be influenced by a multitude of other socioeconomic factors, which I would consider to be worth a deeper exploration and analysis. Future research topics and resources could be allocated to exploring other socioeconomic factors, as mentioned above, that may or may not, in conjunction, influence the state park attendance. And these include median household income, poverty rates by region, transportation accessibility, urban proximity to state park locations, and population density of regions. Overall, my interest in this research project persists regardless of the inconclusive results, and further exploration of the other data resources would be worthwhile. While no statistically significant relationship was produced by this analysis, focusing on improving both unemployment rates and state park usage throughout the many regions of the state of New York is something worth further evaluation. Regional disparities also of state park usage were uncovered in the process of analysis here. And this project hopefully can contribute to the continuing conversation about communal accessibility to these public goods and how additional socioeconomic factors should be explored to create a better understanding about the variation of access for all New Yorkers throughout the state, regardless of socioeconomic condition. Thank you so much for joining my presentation, and I hope this will serve as a jumping off point for future conversations. Take care.